Hello there. Welcome to a new video. Apologies if there has not been any new videos lately. Um, the Steam Deck video, going over my thoughts and opinions and things of that, is still coming. I just need a little bit more time to, play with it and dig deep, kind of thing. So that's still coming. Also, at the end of this month, I will have my monthly pickups video, like usual. Just going over my pickups for April and May. And then after that, I have a collection update video for my Xbox One and Series X collection. So be on the lookout for that. Those are in the pipeline as well. So, speaking of Microsoft and Xbox, I decided to make this little video going over my thoughts on the recent news that has come out of their camp. Microsoft is shutting down 3 game studios from Bethesda and shuffling another one more into like the bowels of Bethesda, basically. First, they are shuffling, regulating Roundhouse Games to Elder Scrolls Online, which I basically equate the same as when ABK puts all their developers on Call of Duty. I'm not saying that Elder Scrolls Online is the same or as popular as Call of Duty, but it's basically the same thing where they regulate certain developers to that particular game. So next, they are shutting down AlphaDog Studios, which is, I believe, just a mobile developer, which makes no sense when you stop and think about it, because Microsoft is just about to launch their own app store, their own mobile store, to compete with Google and Apple and all that. So why would they shut down a mobile developer? One would think, since they're about to launch a mobile store, they would want developers to make games and apps and other shit like that for said new store. Where's the logic in that? It makes no sense. Now the two big ones that are being shut down is Arcane Austin. They are the guys who gave us Prey from 2017, which I greatly enjoyed. I loved that game. It's a lot of fun. It felt like Bioshock. It felt like if Bioshock and Dead Space had a baby, it would be Prey. So I liked it. But they gave us that. They gave us Dishonored 1. I think they also did Dishonored 2 and Death of the Outsider, but don't quote me. I don't know for sure. And of course, Redfall. And I have not played Redfall. I know their mother says that it's like a really, really bad game and all that, but it looked remotely interesting to me, and I was just waiting to play it because when it comes to modern gaming, I'm not a big fan of forcing people to play online if they're playing by themselves or playing any like solo single player component of the game. I'm not a fan of that. So I'm waiting for some kind of offline patch to be put through, and then I pick the game up and give it a try. Well, that's not going to happen anymore because it just came out Friday evening, or was it Friday? I think it was Friday evening. It came out that basically later this month they're going to drop some DLC for the game, some new characters, probably some new weapons, things of that nature, along with the said patch that would make the game be playable offline. So I guess that's not going to happen. So I guess I just won't play Redfall because I don't like having my gaming time dictated by whether I'm online or not. So, which sucks, but it is what it is. Now the next one, which is really the head scratcher, this one's really making people go, wait, why? They're closing down Tango Gameworks, which makes no sense. Again, a lot of people are scratching their heads about why. Why are you closing them down? Two reasons. At least, in my opinion, there's 2 reasons why people are scratching their heads. First one is that Tango Gameworks was Microsoft's only Japanese developer. And I remember when the Series X, before it came out, leading up to launch, I remember Phil Spencer coming out and saying that Japan was very important to Microsoft and Xbox, and that they were going to really really push for a foothold in Japan. They're really going to try. They're really going to try their hardest. So why would you close down your only Japanese developer? Makes no sense. Also, I don't know if anybody knew this, but Tango Gameworks released a little game called Hi-Fi Rush last year, and it was very, very well received. It was one of Xbox's highest rated games of last year. It even won some awards at the Game Awards, and I think a few other places. So, again, why? Makes no sense. Here's the kicker. I believe it was, again, I believe this original news of all this happening broke Thursday, if I remember correctly, Wednesday or Thursday, one of those. And then I believe Friday, I'm pretty sure it was Aaron, or is it Aaron? No, Mike. I think it's Mike, sorry. Mike Booty. Again, I can't remember. I can't keep names straight for the most part. I believe it was Mike Booty. He came out and said that what Microsoft and Xbox needs right now are, quote, smaller games that are well received and win awards. Kind of paraphrasing, that's basically what he said to a certain extent. So, again, why shut down Tango Gameworks, the developer who gave you Hi-Fi Rush? A smaller game. And I'm not talking about like it's an indie game. It's just a smaller game in size compared to like, Halo Infinite, the Perfect Dark, Gear 6, Fable, things of that nature. It's smaller compared to those type of games, those, big AAA games. I would say Hi-Fi Rush is like it's not an indie, it's more like a AA type game, in between indie and AAA. So again, why the fuck would you say that when you just shut down a developer who just literally gave you that last year? It's mind blowing how fucking stupid that is. This news is causing a lot of people to question Xbox and their future and what the hell are they doing and things of that nature. And I agree. Also, it is of my belief that what's happening now within Bethesda and ABK and all these layoffs and shutting down studios and all that, it just goes to prove my point that the buyout merger of Bethesda and ABK coming under the Microsoft Xbox umbrella should not have ever happened. So I've been very vocal since all this started that I don't see this being a good thing for the industry and for us, for gamers, for people who love this hobby, who have such passion for it. I don't see it being a good thing. And I'm being proven right. Now, before someone hits me and says, well, Sony bought Insomniac and they bought Bungie and they bought this developer and that developer and you're not pissed about that, so you're just an Xbox hater and blah, 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 blah. Well, there's a huge difference for that. Huge difference. First off, when Sony bought Insomniac, and to put it bluntly, even though they weren't officially first-party studio for Sony and PlayStation, they basically were. I mean, yes, they were still considered technically, they were second party technically, but Sony already had a very close working relationship with Insomniac. Look at their game output. Most of it was always on PlayStation. Sure, they had Sunset Overdrive on Xbox One as the only Xbox exclusive game, but most part it was always on PlayStation. It made sense to pick them up. Plus, they picked them up because they just had a banger with Spider-Man 1, so they wanted to get on that as soon as possible and make sure everybody else, like Microsoft, picked them up. So it made sense. And then in terms of them buying Bungie, let me ask you something. When you think of Bungie, or when you hear Bungie, what do you think of? You think of Halo and Destiny. Not saying that they don't have other games in their repertoire. They do. But for the most part, when you hear Bungie, or talk about Bungie, or hear Bungie being talked about online, in person, whatever, you typically think of either Halo or Destiny. the time when Bungie was bought by Sony, Destiny 2 was doing quite well for itself as a live service game, surprisingly. Um, I believe, if I remember correctly, Destiny 2 launched in what, 2016, 2017, around there, 2015 maybe. It's been a while. So at the time, they was doing quite good. It was doing quite well for itself. And Sony wanted to try their hand at making a live service game or two. So they figured, okay, well, Bungie did Destiny 2, and obviously they also did have like marketing deals with them and DLC marketing and all that kind of things. So there was also that as well. But mostly they bought Bungie for their live service expertise. So again, now here's the difference. Sony bought those two, yes. The difference between that and Microsoft buying ABK and Bethesda, the difference is that ABK and Bethesda were two of the biggest third-party developers in the industry. That's the fucking difference. I love Insomniac. I love the Spider-Man games. I love Ratchet & Clank. I love their games. Bungie, Halo was good, yes, but after that, not so much. So please tell me on what planet does it make sense to compare Sony buying Insomniac and Bungie with Microsoft buying, again, two of the biggest third-party developers in the industry. That's the fucking difference, you morons. So, that said, hope you guys support Hellblade 2. Hope you guys support the game the Compulsion Games are doing. Hope you support whatever game Double Fine does next after they finish, if they're doing Psychonauts 3, who knows. Hope you support whatever game they do, because right now this just proves the point that anybody's game, any of these studios that are now under Xbox, if the money isn't right or it's not cutting it, they're going to be kicked to the curb. So again, I have to ask, how is consolidation good for the industry? How is this good for the industry? Here's a hint. It's fucking not. So, that said, hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon with other videos. Peace.